The Sorcery team is gearing up for Arthurian Legends and they just spoiled the first card, the Round Table. It's going to be epic, but you might have missed some of the previously released art pieces and hints that we picked up here and there. So this video is going to be spoiler heavy. Let's get into it.
In their Sorcery Contested Realm 2023 retrospective, the Sorcery team just dropped the first card spoiled for Arthurian Legends, and that card is the Round Table. It is really great to see a card that interacts with the grid, because this card is required to be played at your back row. So that is great to see that they are further enhancing the grid gameplay into Sorcery Contested Realm. And with this card we are also going to see card draw. And this card draw, since this card is a monument, is not tied up to a specific element. So no more need to splash air to have card draw. Yay! Other important things can be gained from this card too. The first and maybe most important is that we now know that King Arthur is going to be featured on a card, since King Arthur is a keyword on the Round Table. Another important thing is that this card, the Round Table, also seems to interact with some other keywords besides King Arthur. We have Sir or Knight. So having differentiated between Sir and Knight means that this must be an important feature in Arthurian Legends. So I'm really keen to see what this means and how great the power difference is going to be between a Sir and a Knight. One last thing is that we're also going to see the keyword Dame. That means that we're going to see some powerful female figures in Arthurian Legends. I'm certain of this because it is not tied to a specific name, i.e. Guinevere. So I think that we're going to see more than one important female character, and I'm looking really much forward to see what these female characters are going to be.
Another thing that we got with the first spoiler card, the Round Table, is of course that we can see they did a bit of a change up. Normally we would find the set symbol right next to the artist's attribution, but they have instead chosen to do the normal C for copyright for the artist, and at the end of the artist attribution line on the bottom of the card, you can see they have chosen a new set symbol, and this time it's not going to be a Greek alphabet. It is instead going to be presumably Excalibur. It does look like it's the heft of a sword, and what better to represent Arthurian Legends than Excalibur. Next up is a really interesting and very intricate piece by Liz Stanford. This is an art piece that she herself presented at IXCon in 2023. It is the Sealy Court, and here you see it's a multiple figure scene with a lot of focus on a central character in the middle. She has done a beautiful explanation on the official Sorcery TCG YouTube channel, so I really implore you to go check that out after this video, because she does a great job of explaining what it is you see on this card. It's going to be very interesting to see what the mechanics of this card is, and with these multiple characters, might we see some of them showing up on other cards. Speaking of showing up, if you want us to show up on your feed, please do hit that like button and consider becoming a subscriber. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Speaking of important female figures, one important card that has been almost revealed, or at least the art has been revealed, is the Lady of the Lake. According to myth, the Lady of the Lake is a water spirit that bestows the magical sword Excalibur to King Arthur, thus giving him legitimacy to rule Britain. So that is a really important card. Even though the card itself is not spoiled yet, a lot can be gained by just looking at the art. It's really clear that we see a lot of water elements, so I believe that this card is going to be tied to the element of water in sorcery. You can also see that she's conjuring a magical sword, and that magical sword is surely Excalibur. So we are fairly certain that we're going to see Excalibur as an artifact in Arthurian Legends, and hopefully it's going to be just as good as the Flaming Sword.
So we know from the first card spoiled, the Round Table, that we will of course have King Arthur in the set as a card. So what do you think that King Arthur will do as a card? What will be the mechanic? Let us know down in the comment section, and no cheating. Go down, type it in before we tell you what we think it'll do. So the art for King Arthur card is not spoiled yet, but we do have a guess. If you go back to this video right up here, we believe we have already seen King Arthur, but just in very low resolution, because it's hanging right behind Eric at Sorcery Contested Realm headquarters. So we do think that the art is already there, and we think it will look a lot like the Sir Tristan card with the illuminated manuscript style, but we haven't seen it yet, and we are all very excited to see precisely this card, and he is the main person in this set of Arthurian Legends. So we will let you know what we think that King Arthur will do as a mechanic. Presumably he is going to act as some kind of lord for all the other knights, which means he either gives a plus to them, or as a genesis effect, just like the Highland Falconeer, he will be able to summon a card, presumably a knight. Where the Highland Falconeer summons a beast with airborne, he will be summoning a knight or maybe even a sir or a dame as well to the place where he is located, because it just makes a lot of sense to have him summon knights and gather them around the round table. Maybe he will even have some interesting play effects with the round table, Excalibur, or the Lady of the Lake, or some of the other cards that they can have some interesting and cool synergies. It's going to be very exciting to see, and we are so ready for Arthurian Legends.
The second piece of art ever spoiled for Arthurian Legends was the art for Sir Tristan, and this art was by Elvira Shakirova. We know that Elvira Shakirova have been commissioned to do the knights for Arthurian Legends, but guessing from the style, I believe that she has also been doing Lady Guinevere and King Arthur. In the art for Sir Tristan, we can see that he has slain a dragon, because according to myth, Sir Tristan slays a dragon. So this might also mean that we're going to see dragons in Arthurian Legends. We don't know this, of course, but it is a very likely guess. And hopefully, these dragons are going to be tied to other elements than the dragons we've already seen in Alpha and Beta, being fire and air. We don't know how many knights Elvira Shakirova has been commissioned to make. But we do know that, according to myth, there are between 10 and 12 knights in the Arthurian Legend myth. We also know from an interview that Eric did that these knights are going to be chase cards of Arthurian Legends. The knights are going to have a very special art that is an illustrated manuscript, very reminiscent to medieval texts. And this illustrated manuscript is going to have a very special gold foil on this illustrated manuscript, and that is going to be the chase cards of the Arthurian Legends. So that also means, if this hasn't been changed of course, that we're going to see a new type of foiling in Arthurian Legends. We still have some amazing art to show you for some of the cards to the Arthurian Legends set. And at the end of this video, we're also going into a little discussion about precon decks for Arthurian Legends.
One of the art pieces that was shown at IlluxCon in 2023 was Sir Agravain by Drew Tucker. Mike from Collector Art House did a little interview with him, and it was really cool and great to see this piece of artwork. Sir Agravain, as you see here, is usually known as one of the more sinister knights around the table. He is a knight who in his youth slays a unicorn to try and please his mother and get her affections and attentions. And he is the nephew of King Arthur himself. He has a very sinister story, as in the myth, he's the one to help discover that Sir Lancelot and Guinevere are having an affair behind King Arthur's back, and indirectly has a hand in Sir Lancelot being killed. He looks very sinister in this art, and the unicorn that he slays is sort of hinted at on the horse right here in the middle of the section. I have no idea what riding equipment is called, so we're just going to point to it right here. He's going to show up in Arthurian Legends as one of the many knights, and this is an example of a knight that is not commissioned by Elvira Shakirova.
Another art piece for Arthurian Legends was spoiled by the artist herself, Lindsay Crometh, and this art piece is the art piece for the 9th Legion. We don't know what this card is going to do, but it looks really cool, and it definitely looks sinister. Jeff A. Mingus also got a art piece spoiled in a Collector Art House video, and this art piece is the art piece for Stonehenge. We don't know what the card is, but it is very presumably going to be a site, and hopefully it's going to be a really powerful site. Jeff did a lot of research on Stonehenge because he wanted this art piece to resemble Stonehenge in its former glory, and taking it all the way back to when this astronomical monument was actually first built.
We have two really cool art pieces from Ian Miller, who has done some amazing art already for Alpha and Beta. So these pieces are called Citadel of Screaming Pillars, and the other one is Dead Space Pool, not just Deadpool. And they are really cool. Truth is, right now we don't have any precise confirmation that they will be in Arthurian Legends, but they very well could be, and it fits that they're made in 2023, presumably ramping up towards Arthurian Legends. But these pieces are really cool. They have the intricate, very high detail style of Ian Miller, and I really hope that we get to see them in Arthurian Legends.
Having precon decks is a really great way to start playing Sorcery Contested Realm, and the decks are really great for new players. But there is a problem with them, and that has to do with the unique cards.
And that is that if you pull one of the uniques that is already in the beta precons while opening your booster box packs, you're going to be a little disappointed, because if you get that Vesuvius and you already have it from the precons and there is no way to distinguish between the precon version and the regular version in the booster boxes, it's not going to be as valuable as getting one of the other uniques. And even in terms of trade, since people can just buy that amazing precon and get those uniques, nobody's probably going to be very excited to trade those uniques that are in the beta precon. I hope they have a way of indicating that it's the precon version of Arthurian Legends unique and not one of the regular versions, and that you're able to distinguish between the two. But the product itself is really good, and it is one of the best ways for new players to get in the game, and there is a lot of value there with 4 decks and a booster pack. It is a really cool product.
Another way to solve this unique problem is to have another art commissioned for the cards that are unique in the precon decks. Of course, this might create another problem with these cards being more sought after than the unique cards from the original set themselves. But right now, it is a really good product, but there are some problems connected to it.
So, if you didn't catch it already, we've already done a really cool video about the hidden little Easter eggs for Arthurian Legends. So, if you want to take a really deep dive into the art, you can hit the video right up there. So, if you want to support us, we're going to be doing some really cool stuff for YouTube channel members and Patreon members in 2024. We have commissioned some very cool art, and we're going to put it on a couple of tokens, both for Magic the Gathering but also Sorcery. So if you want to support us, go hit the section down below where you can see our Patreon memberships and our YouTube channel memberships. It's going to be very cool, and we would really appreciate the support.
A special thank you goes out to our YouTube channel members and our Patreon members. Thank you for supporting the Cardboard Guide the most direct way you possibly can. And also, thank you for you out there watching this video, liking, subscribing and commenting. That helps a lot also with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on the next one.